So in our today discussion, we discuss about these pharmaceutics practicals. So this practical comprise of 150 marks. Out of that 150 marks, 30 marks is dedicated to the sessional examination. There are the two sessional examinations for this pharmaceutics practical, and these 20 marks are dedicated to the 10 marks for your internal assessment and 10 marks for that attendance. So this 20 marks plus 30 marks, it is the 50 marks, and then 100 marks for the final examination. So through this online mode, it is not possible for us to prepare the to carry out that practicals, but at the same time we can prepare notes. We can improve our vocabulary or Viva voce exam questions by doing by focusing on the various practicals which are planned for our semester one. When we see this practical syllabus, so starting number 1 to 6, they are related to the your analytical practicals, means detection of computer using UV visible spectrophotometer, simultaneous estimation, then determination of component using HPLC, gas chromatography, flame photometry, and fluorimetry. So all these are the instruments generally used for the identification for qualitative or quantitative determination of the components, and some basic practicals are there. So all these practical based upon the instrumentation. So whenever you come to the college, you have to work over that instruments, and you have to carry out the practicals. So the chemistry teacher will take this practical, probably the Daberde madam or Thote sir is there. They will take your practicals from 7 onwards. They are related to the formulation development. So that practical is based upon the formulation of matrix tablets, formulation of osmotically controlled tablet, formulation of floating tablets, hydrodynamically balanced drug delivery system, formulation of mucoadhesive tablets, formulation of transdermal patches, and afterwards there is some studies are there. That studies are very important when we look towards the practical number 13. So the pre-formulation studies of the tablet, initially we will take this practical. So we will start the practical from this 13, 14, 15, 16. So the basics related to this compressibility, pre-formulation, or why we vary the concentration of binder, disintegrant, or why we focus on the particle size, that first we will discuss in this um, study. So when we talk about this pre-formulation study, the word their mention is pre-formulation, and the second one is the tablets. So whenever we talk about the pre-formulation study of the tablets, so uh, initially we have to go for the various tests for that granules. When we prepare that granules, like its bulk density, tap density, angle of repose, its flow properties, and maybe the size also. Then we have to move towards the compression of the tablet, and after that compression of the tablet, we will go for the disintegration, dissolution, hardness, friability, weight variation, and other tests which are commonly performed for the tablets. So one thing we have to be clear here, that we have to prepare the tablets, and when we prepare before the preparation of the tablet, we have to go for the granulation purpose, and when we go for that granulation, we have to evaluate that granules. The routine test we perform for that granules, and then we have to compress the tablet. Then after compression we will evaluate the tablets. So one you can you can see here one table over the your computer. So here few batches are mentioned. So in this batch, when we talk about the pre-formulation of the tablet, so a basic formula is there that uh, what will be the effect of the various disintegrant, what will be the effect of various binders, what will be the effect of various diluents. So here we will study in later parts. So when we talk about this pre-formulation study, so here we have to um, study the physical appearance, bulk density, tap density, angle of repose, Husner's ratio. Then we have to compress and we have to evaluate all the tablets. When we move towards the next practical, everybody is clear about this pre-formulation. We will discuss later on. Then the next one is to study the effect of compressional force on the disintegration time of the tablet. When we talk about this compressional force, it is the force used to compress the tablet. So that's why tablet get some hardness or suitable hardness. So that's why it will not wear and tear, or it will not get break into one or more in two or more parts, and it will be intact. So we impart some hardness, that is the main uh, property of the tablet. At the same time, we perform the friability test. So that's why the tablet should be passed that friability test, means it should have sufficient strength to withstand the that various operations we perform, that is during the manufacturing, after manufacturing it goes to the packaging, after packaging it goes to the warehouse, then it is packed into the bulk cartons, then that cartons are transported, then it goes to the CNF, then wholesaler, then retailer, then afterwards the it come to the patient. So there is a long journey after the preparation of the tablet. So during this journey, tablet should be have sufficient hardness. So that hardness is imparted by this compressional force. But at the same time, if the compressional force is higher, the disintegration time will change. We already discussed that. IP mentioned some limits for this disintegration time. When it is the compressed uncoated tablet, the time is 15 minutes, not more than that. 15 minutes is there. Film coated tablet 30 minutes. For a sugar coated tablet, there is the 60 minutes. So likewise, some times are there. They are mentioned in the IP, and we have to prepare a dosage form in such a way that it should get disintegrate within that time. So how this compressional force is affecting the disintegration time, we have to study. Why we are going for this practical, what is the objective of this practical? If we impart more force, tablet will disintegrate at a higher time, and it will affect the dissolution process, and it will affect the dissolution absorption process. At the same time, if the compressional force is very low, it will get break, it will not pass the friability test, and the patient will not get the intact dosage form. We see that patient, when we call it as patient, he is suffering from some disease, he is very nervous, he is fed, and at the same time, if he or she receive the tablet which is not intact, or which is not as per the appearance, or which is not as per the expectation, so he will get demoralized, he or she will get demoralized, or he or she will not take that medicine. There will not be the patient in compliance. There are the so many factors are there. So being a pharmacist, being a formulator, it is our responsibility that patient should get a exact dosage form. Patient should get a dosage form which is having some illusions or good looking characteristics. So whenever we talk about this effect of compressional force on the disintegration of the time, so we have to compress das practical that batches in various compressional force. So how we will be having that various compressional force? We are having the 12 station tablet compression machine. It is the multi-tooling. So we can increase or decrease that compressional forces. There is a knob is there in the left hand side of the machine. So that's why the lower roller will move up and down, and by moving up and down, we can manage the compressional force. Everybody has to be listen carefully. Okay, how we will perform this practical? Probably whenever you come to the college, you have to directly uh, go through such types of practical. And that demo will be given to you, but you have to carry out this practical. So after preparation of tablet, we at various compressional force, we will go for the disintegration, and then we will see that whether the disintegration time has been changed or not. So this is clear to you about this compressional force. Then next is the to study the micromeretic properties of powder and granules. When we talk about this micromeretic is the study. Here we do the study of the particle size, how these particle sizes appear. So in when we talk about the scale, there is the nanometer, micrometer, centimeter, millimeters, centimeters are there, and particle size ranges from nanometer to several microns uh, in the size. And if uh, these particle size are not in a proper range, we will face a problem related to the weight variation when we talk about the tablet. So this micromeretic property is very important for when we consider the tablet dosage form or powder dosage form. So this to study the micromeretic properties of the powders and granules, here we will study the various methods used to study the used to determine the powder size. So generally, till now we discuss about the we study about that that sieve analysis is there, microscopic analysis is there. So these are the some common methods which we generally use for the tablets. If we have to determine the smaller particle size, we go for that culture counter, zeta sizer. Some big instruments are there. That instruments are very costly, and if we want to do the study of that particles of the particles which is in the nanoscale, so we use such types of instrument, or in routine work we go for that sieve analysis, we go for that microscopic analysis. We have the trinocular microscope at our college, so you can use that trinocular microscope. So here you can get the images for that particular granules over your laptop. So it will be very easy to do this practical. But when we talk about this micromeretic property, we have to keep in mind that the granules should be in the narrow range. If it is in the narrow range, what will happen? The problem, that is filling of the die cavity, can be overcome. So weight variation will be less. So it will help to pass the tablet in that weight variation. At the same time, when we talk about if the tablet is having the higher weight, so higher compressional force will required, and it will get the higher hardness. uh, at the same time, if that hardness is high there, so it will affect the disintegration and dissolution of the tablet. So we have to keep in mind all these things. All practicals are interrelated: pre-formulation, compressional force, micromeretic, then effect of particle size on dissolution, effect of binders. All these practicals are there. So when we go for this sieve analysis, we will arrange the sieve in a descending order. So we will place the powder over the top and we will shake it, and then after 5 or 10 minutes, we will separate the powders, we will collect the powders, and then we will weigh it. And with this, we by using the data we can plot a bar diagram, and from that we can see that what are the various ranges for that particular products. If we go for that sieve analysis, microscopic analysis, we are having the trinacular microscope. That trinacular microscope uses uh, uh, three lenses. It is called as the trinacular microscope is there. We will focus over the particles. So here we will see that around 200 particles we will measure by measuring the particle size, and again we will plot the uh, that bar graph, and from that bar graph we will came to know the what are the sizes for that particular powder. So these are two methods are there. Apart from this, we are also having the digital vernier caliper. So this is also used, but we will avoid this vernier caliper for granules if they are having some pellets or some uniform size. So we can use this for round shape. We can say here that we can for the round shape. This vernier caliper is very good. So uh, during these micromeretic properties, what we have to do, we have to take the all the ingredients which required for the formulation of the tablet. Then we will prepare the granules, and then we will measure the granules by sieve analysis and the microscopic analysis. So here you can measure the particle size of your excipients also. So we can have various choices. So some student can measure the particle size of the excipients like diluent or drug which we are using. Some student can measure the particle size of the granules, and we will plot the graph. The basic motto behind this study is to how this particle size measurement is carried out, what size we are requiring, whether the granules we prepared are in the same size, or what changes in the formulation we have to do. So that's why we get a uniform size formulation, what changes we have to do in our process. So that's why what uniform size that granules we will take. So all these things we have to study. After completion of this practical, we will came to know the effect of that ingredients, then the effect of process over the that size of that granules. So generally we will use the weight granulation methods for the preparation of the granules. In next practical, to study the effect of particle size on the dissolution of the tablet. So the how these particle size affect the dissolution of tablet. Again, we discussing about the previously we discussed about the micromeretic properties. In that micromeretic properties, we go for that particle size, small particle size, larger particle size, right? Then we will prepare a tablet using the small particle size and large particle size. How we call it as the small or the large, in the range we had prepared, say size of the particle in 1 to 2 micron, 2 to 4 micron, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, or 10 to 20 microns, depending upon the granules we will use. So initial range and the final range we will take, and we will prepare the tablets. Then after that preparation of the tablet, we will compress it. After that compression, we will go for the dissolution tablet, and then we will see that how that drug get released. So initially we will get the changes in that release pattern. If the particle size is very small, it will release the drug at the faster range, or if the particle size are more, it will release the drug at the faster range. That we have to study. So initially we will prepare, if it is the IR tablet, so we will having our diso for around 30 minutes. Probably it should get released within 15 minutes. So that we will withdraw the sample at the interval of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes. If we not found any difficult any changes, so we can reduce that time to 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes likewise. So these are some basic things we have to understand during this practical, or we have to modify the this practical process while doing the dissolution study. So now you came to know that all practicals are in the relation. So micromeretic changes are there. Then after that we will go for its dissolution. Then afterwards the next practical is to study the effect of binder on the dissolution of the tablets. We very well know that binders means helps to bind the granules. If the concentration of binder is somewhat higher, so it will retard the that dissolution disintegration process, and ultimately the dissolution process. So we have to be very careful about all these things, that is which binder we will use, if it is IR, if it is the control release, if it is the it is the micro mucoid adhesive. So which types of that binders we will use. So that's why the that tablet shape size can be retained. If it is the gastro-retentive or the mucoadhesive, tablet should not get disintegrate. So here we not use the disintegrant, here we use the different binders, some synthetic, semi-synthetic, or some process binders we will use. So that's why tablet will be intact and it will release the drug at zero order or first order depending upon requirement. So here generally we use the control release or the matrix tablets. So we will study the effect of the binder. So how we will perform this practical? So in this practical we will take different binders, say PVPK30, starch is there, again HPMC you can take. These are some different binders, so you must know the name of the binders, which binders you can take. Then how we will take this concentration of the binders. Here you can, I had marked that 5%, 10% as are there, it is in the percentage. So how this 5% or 10% is taken? So depending upon the literature survey you carry out for that particular here we can say that the practicals. So you came to know that what will be the concentration of the binder. The second one is the, there is the pharmaceutical excipient book is there, that pharmaceutical, in that pharmaceutical excipient book the concentration of the binders are mentioned, that in which concentration and how much, what are the limit for that particular binders for particular component, for that particular uh, functioning. So if it is the binder, PVP may be written that 2 to 4% or 4 to 6% is there. So we will take higher and lower range and in between range, and then we will perform the tablet and we will go, we will see that how this diclofenac or paracetamol, the pattern of this release of this diclofenac or paracetamol. So it is again experiment we have to frame according to the our needs, according to the binders we are having. Fortunately, all the binders, PVP, starch, HPMC is available with us, so we can have a variety of study. Again, I am saying that the motto behind this study is that to st- to study study the effect of various variables which we use for the formulation of the tablet. So this is again very important practical. Next practical is to plot the Hakel plot, Higuchi and Peppa's plot, and to determine the similarity factor. When we talk about this similarity and dissimilarity factor, this determines that how our formulation is behaving with that standard one, or here we can say that the innovator products. So we are having our innovator products, we will go for its dissolution study, we will take the readings, and then we will formulate its similarity and dissimilarity. F2 and F1 is there. So that it is very important to determine these similarity factors. So by doing this study of this similarity factor, we can go to a conclusion that What will be the release pattern for our drug? There is the Hakel plot, Higuchi plot, Peppas plot for the control release for the floating tablets. These particular dosage form follow one type of pattern. So that pattern we will determine. Now we will not discuss which types of. I will not tell you which types of dosage form will give the Hakel or this. By doing all this study, see, initially we are preparing in the starting, so we are preparing the CR tablets, control release, sustain release, osmotically controlled. So ultimately we will perform its dissolution, and from that dissolution data we will perform this similarity factor, dissimilarity factor, and we will plot this Hakel plot, Higuchi plot, and the Peppas plot. So all these part practicals are interrelated.